We're rolling into Week 14. A lot's going on with the NFL. Christian McCaffrey out. Jordan Mason out. Isaac Gurendo, the next man up. But the 49ers, earlier this week, they swoop in and they pick up Abanikanda. And if you follow college football, if you follow the NFL draft, you know he's a talented prospect with a lot of juice that can make an impact on any given Sunday if given the opportunity. This is a running back prospect that right now in fantasy football that you just need to be aware of. But in deeper leagues, or if you want to make that stash, you may want to think about it. So we're going to deep dive him today to see whether or not you need him for your fantasy football team. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing these deep dives every day on as many players as possible. All the trending players, we'll do a deep dive on them to see whether or not you need them so you can look at the advanced analytics and their situation. We go deep on the waiver wire, and on top of that, we use these videos to help you set your lineups with the must-start videos. We'll have one out tomorrow. You can ask your questions in that video, but you need to click that button right now because Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair, and you don't want to miss out. As you know, everybody knows, Jordan Mason out, Christian McCaffrey out, rest of the season, and now we're looking at Isaac Gurendo. But the thing is, the Niners swoop in and pick up Abanikanda, which is flying under the radar right now. My comment section, there are people talking about this. What about Izzy? What about Izzy? I like Izzy. I think he's a flyer. We're going to talk about him today because when I talked about Isaac Gurendo, I had a good portion of that video the other day talking about Izzy here because there's a lot of upside with this running back. A lot of unknown upside. This is a very good running back prospect. And you're looking at him, he did nothing this year. And there's a reason for that. And it's a reason that's very interesting. But there's a good reason for that. But he's an upside running back. Not a generational talent or anything like that. But when you look at his game, his skill set, you can imagine him just popping off randomly on a random Sunday just with a good box score. This is the type of running back that can do that and also hold down a starting role for any NFL team for a little bit. He's got the gusto to do it. Last year, he gave you a little something with the Jets. Remember, Breece Hall and company and everything else. He flashed in training camp. He looked good in training camp. He got some opportunity there. A lot of talk about him. Jets media was talking about him pretty good last year going into the season. A rookie with a lot of upside that's very explosive on the field. And we saw that coming out of high school, a 4-star prospect, ranked 14th among running backs in the class when he was coming out. 24/7 Sports, what they'll do is reassess their rankings in January. They'll finish their rankings in January right before they'll move on to the next year and try to finalize those rankings. That being said, when you're looking at Abanikanda, they're higher on him than they were on the composite. And you look at him at Pitt that final year. 1,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, 38 balls caught on his career. So we can be using the passing game. Not overly extensive, but we can be. And we can be massively productive. He was one of the top running backs in college football at that time. That being said, we got a lot of opportunity with this running back. I was very high on him coming out the draft process, but that was a deep running back class. That was one of the deepest running back classes you'll ever see, and some running backs just fell in the draft. And some of them fell to some of these NFL teams at a good discount. Yards after contact per attempt, 2021, 3.60. 2022, 2.71. 38 carries of 10-plus yards. He's explosive, massively productive at the college level. Run a 4.5 40-yard dash at 216 pounds. We got the size to get it done. We fall in the draft to the 5th round to the New York Jets. The New York Jets were good at running back, but they were like, hey, this guy's coming to us at a discount here. He's talented. We have him graded much higher than the 5th round. We're going to pull the trigger on here on Abanikanda. That's what they said with this pick because they already had Breece Hall and they wanted another running back. And for him to fall this far in the draft, that was a tremendous deal. The draft community had him pegged as a mid-round pick. 3rd round, 4th round, late 2nd round, somewhere in that range with the upside he has, with the production he had and everything else, size of just athleticism, the tape, the college production, and he fell in the draft, and we had a lot of running backs fall in the draft in that year. We had a lot of them. We had a lot of good talent in that draft. NFL teams don't like to pay up for running back. When you get a lot of them in a draft class that are very talented, you'll catch some of them that will fall through the cracks. And now you're looking at the 49ers depth chart. Isaac Gurendo, Patrick Taylor, we're not ignoring him, but we're getting a lot of questions and a lot of looks at Izzy Abanikanda because everybody knows that there's some talent here that could surprise us if something happens. Like if Isaac Gurendo doesn't get it done and they got to move on to something else, if they're pulling strings with these running backs, maybe he cracks a couple runs. He is explosive. He does have good vision. Isaac Gurendo, we like him. It's not like we don't like him. We're just doing this video on Izzy right now. 4.33 40-yard dash, tons of upside, 221 pounds. Will be the guy to start things off, or should be the guy to start things off. Sometimes these NFL teams make us think one way and then they do something different. But Isaac Gurendo should be the guy. He had those 2 big runs. He's a shotgun running back and score from anywhere on the football field. We love Isaac Gurendo. Patrick Taylor is a guy here that's been on the team for a bit. He can grind it between the tackles. Productive at Memphis back in 2018. Hasn't really put anything together yet at the NFL level. Had to be called up from the practice squad. Knows more about the offense than Izzy right now. But Izzy's got some talent to him. Izzy's got to pick things up and learn it on the quick. That's what he really has to do. If he can, that's going to be good. If not, we may not hear anything about him. We may not. And that's the risk with Izzy Abanikanda. You're looking at the Jets here, and the reason why they're able to let him slip through the cracks is this year Braylon Allen falls to them at a huge discount. A very good running back prospect who is productive, one of the top running backs in college football at the age of 17. Isaiah Davis, another great running back prospect, falls to him later. They did not need to make that pick because honestly, they had Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. They're good. They already had Izzy on the roster. But what they're telling you is if a deal comes to them in the draft in the later rounds, they're just going to smash that button and roll with it. But when I look at this backfield, it's one of the most talented backfields in the National Football League. And when I factor Izzy Abanikanda with these guys, it's just a basket of good running backs from top to bottom. Izzy, if you put him on the Dallas Cowboys, he would be pushing Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle would be the guy more than likely, but he would usurp Ezekiel Elliott right now. I could definitely see that happening, pushing Ezekiel Elliott out the way with the burst and athleticism from what we're seeing on the field. And you're looking at the schedule here. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We need opportunity. We need to get on the field. We need something to happen. We need Isaac Gurendo to not play well. We need the opportunity to get some touches. We need the opportunity to see a running lane to get our opportunity to cash. But we do have some good matchups up here. Not like they're top 5 or anything like that, but you got the Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Cardinals, all allowing more than 20 points per game in PPR to the running backs. And that's the whole backfield whenever they're playing against teams on average. That's some good opportunity. And they only got one bad matchup against Detroit Lions. But that's in your fantasy playoffs. So you can make that decision later. There's some upside here if you want to look at Izzy Abanikanda because he's a talented runner. That's what we're seeing. But he's a massive stash right now. There's a lot of other stashes. There's a ton of stashes in the National Football League right now at running back because the top running backs aren't getting hurt yet. They're just lasting and lasting every week. So you got Trey Benson, Blake Corum, Jonathan Brooks. You got more talented running backs out there. It's a big pool of them. But if I'm in a 16-teamer, 18-teamer, or if I'm really invested in the situation, or if I'm not really into Isaac Gurendo, or if I have anything like that, then I might make that my stash. I think odds are in my 12-team, 10-team traditional league, I can't make this happen right now. However, if I'm in a bigger league, or if I got a roster construction here where I'm starting 5, 6, 7, 8 flexes or something like that, and I got a large bench, then I'm looking at this just in case we get some turnover here with the running backs. You got a rookie running back here that wasn't highly sought after in Isaac Gurendo. He's got some talent. He's got some speed, but we got to see if he can hold it down. We're looking at the other running backs here on the team. There ain't much there. And Izzy showed off what he could do at the college level, and he's got a very good prospect profile. That being said, you should be looking at him you shouldn't go all in, but you should be looking at him, especially if you got the roster spot. Honestly, if you clicked on this video and you liked him prior to everything I said and you're just looking for confirmation bias, you already know what to do. You already know what to do in your league. You've been paying attention to football enough that you know what to do with your fantasy team. You know what to do with him because you watched him in college. You're in the know. If you're not in the know and you're just trying to learn about him, more than likely you're probably just going to want to stay away. That would probably be the best answer for you, unless you are in one of those deep leagues and you're just trying to find another running back to hoard because all the running backs that are hoardable are not there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.